When you have a growing family of 2+ kids, little sedans and compact SUVs aren't going to cut it anymore. We need to move up to a midsize at the least. One great choice is the Ford Explorer. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff, Ford and Isuzu, and today we're going to talk about this 2022 Ford Explorer XLT. Let's dive in. The Ford Explorer is a midsize crossover SUV. And why do they call it a crossover SUV? Because the Explorer is no longer built on rugged body and frame truck-based construction. Back in the day, pretty much all the SUVs, big and small, were built on a frame, like trucks have always been. But somewhere along the lines, the car manufacturers had a bright idea. They're like, well, wait a second. You know, most people who buy these things, they're not going heavy-duty off-roading, they're not rock crawling, they're not towing 10,000 pounds. So it's a little bit overkill to have these things built on truck frames. They're driving like trucks, they're heavy like trucks. Why not build them more like a car with a SUV body on the outside? And that's what they've done. And they're a huge success, whether you know you're driving one or not. More people are buying crossover SUVs in the United States than ever. It's a fantastic idea. So even though it looks kind of truckish, it's built a lot more like a car using unibody. But don't get me wrong, I still capable of doing light off-roading. When properly equipped, you can also tow up to 5,600 pounds with the Explorer. Obviously, if you need more towing ability, then move up to the Expedition that's built on a truck frame. But these things, they have excellent driving dynamics, fuel efficient, they're more fuel efficient, they handle and drive a lot more like a car, they're quieter. Those are all the benefits to moving to unibody architecture. But the Explorer has another trick up its sleeve. Most of the car-based crossovers, like the Toyota Highlander, the Nissan Pathfinder, the Hyundai Palisade, the Kia Telluride, the GMC Acadia, I'm sure are missing more. They are all built on front-wheel drive-based platforms. Yes, they are available with all-wheel drive, or you can call it four-wheel drive. All-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, pretty much the same thing. It's all advertising. That's a whole different story. The Explorer is not actually built on a front-wheel drive platform. It's built on a rear-wheel drive platform. Actually, it used to be, but in 2020, Ford switched back to a rear-wheel drive platform on the Explorer. You can get these with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, whatever you want to call it, like this one. But the primary drive wheels are the rear wheels. So that improves the balance of the vehicle, improves the handling. When you have a front-wheel drive vehicle, everything is just kind of compressed into the front of the vehicle. You have the engine, then you have the transmission next to the engine, so it's very nose heavy. The wheels are doing a lot of work. They're doing the majority of the braking, the steering, they're putting the power to the ground. Not quite as balanced, but having that unibody having that front-wheel drive platform frees up more interior space because you don't have big drive shafts going through the middle of the vehicle. It's generally cheaper to construct, but the drawback is that it's going to take away from handling and performance. So Ford switched back to the rear-wheel drive platform. So you have the engine, then you have the transmission, then you have a big drive shaft going through the middle of the vehicle, powering the rear wheels. You did have to give up a little bit interior space to do that, but it has transcended into much better driving dynamics. Don't take my word for it. Read one of the first automotive press reviews of the Explorer, switching to that rear-wheel drive platform, and they have nothing but good things to say about it. So that's something that's different about the Explorer versus pretty much every other mid-sized car-based crossover SUV. They're all on front-wheel drive platforms. So if you do value performance and handling in your crossover SUV, I know some people do, check out the Explorer. And if you want more performance, they actually make a really cool ST version of the Explorer with 400 horsepower. That's really quick. For an engine, we have a 2.3-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine. Workhorse engine here. We can find this in a lot of other Ford products. We can find it in the Mustang EcoBoost. We can find it in the Bronco. We can find it in the Ranger. It makes 300 horsepower. And if you want more power, like I said, there's an ST version pumping out 400 horsepower. But for most people, 300 horsepower is plenty. This thing is pretty quick. Nice front-end styling. And one nice dividend of owning an Explorer is a lot of law enforcement drive these Explorers as police interceptors and police cruisers. So if you like to bomb down the left-hand lane, someone sees this big grill getting big in their rearview mirror, they might aggressively move out of your way. We have a dual exhaust system for a little bit more of a performance-oriented look. This one has a tow package, as I mentioned, when properly equipped. You can tow a little under 6,000 pounds of the Explorer. We have a power rear liftgate. The XLT is one of the entry-level trims on the Explorer grade walk. There's a lot of different grades, but it still has a nice premium feel. You don't feel like you're in the bargain basement model at all. Lots of interior space, and of course you can fold down the second and third row seats for even more space. A little bit extra storage under there. This one has the second row captain's chair, is very comfortable. Nice spacious accommodations back here. Rear climate control, USB and USB-C connectivity. We have a conventional 12-volt outlet. Even the third row seats aren't too bad as far as space goes either. But where most of the magic happens, the most time spent is in the driver's seat, and it is very comfortable. You have a nice digital display. I love this little welcome entry screen that they have. Keyless ignition with push button start. You have a rotary dial here to operate the 10-speed automatic transmission that maximizes performance and efficiency of all those gears. We have heated front seats, heated steering wheel, great sync infotainment system of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, rear parking camera, nice synthetic leather seats with this two-tone styling, contrast stitching, very nice. We have a leather up steering wheel, it feels great in your hands. This one has got pretty low miles, only 28,000 miles. We have a drive mode selector right here, which will make changes to the vehicle, basically like transmission shift points, traction stability control settings, things like that for different drive modes. So we have normal, we have eco, we have sport, we have tow haul, we have slippery, trail, and again, this is more of a light off-roader, not a rock crawler like the Bronco. Deep snow and sand. It's cold and rainy out there, not very pleasant. We're dealing with this atmospheric river right now in Western Washington. We're in Auburn, Washington, and not very far from us, there's some people that are having a real tough time, so our hearts go out to them. Hopefully we don't get any flooding in the portion of Auburn that we're in, but we've toughed it out since 1922. Scarff Ford has been in business 103 years of making this video. We sell new Fords, new Isuzus. Thanks so much for watching. I'm nice and comfortable, warm, got the heated seats on, the heated steering wheel. So amongst all this chaos outside, you can be nice and comfortable in your Ford Explorer XLT. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.